Hello Flosstube! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen, or my channel name is MiskaCat1 on Flosstube, or YouTube I guess. I am MiskaCat1 I think again on Instagram. I will put a link to my Instagram account down below for you all if you're not following me already. Welcome back to my channel. It's been several months. I think the last video I did was back in September, so I figured I'd try and start the new year off right, and here I am. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the projects I'm going to be showing, and then you'll subscribe and you'll return and join me for my next video. So I'm going to try and do better this year. I miss doing videos. I'm going to try and aim for one every month, keep you updated with my progress. I plan on being a little bit more active in some of the sales on Facebook. Not crazy sales, because that's not my stitching style. So, but I'll divulge a little bit more of that information later on. But thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate you coming back and watching this video. And like I said, I'm going to try and do better. So, there's a lot to get through, so I'm just going to get started. Like I said, I think the last video that I did was back in September. So, then we started with October, and it was Dark October stitching. I pretty much just worked on 2 projects, I think, for that month. One of them is a finish, so I'm going to show you that one later when I go through all my finishes that I did this year. But the main one that I worked on was Halloween Kitty Mandala by Chatelaine. So I will show you that one. The beginning of October, I ended up spraining my ankle, so I was off work for like 2 weeks. It was kind of a nice little break. Not so good for the paycheck. Because unfortunately I didn't sprain my ankle at work, so that was not good for finances, but it did give me a little bit more time to stitch. I also got together with my mom, and we figured out, she taught me how to use the sewing machine, so that was fun. So we started making some project bags, so I'm going to show you the ones that are associated with the projects that I have. I don't want to turn my channel into that, but I will show you when it's appropriate. So the first one is this one. This is what my black Halloween Kitty Mandala is living in. So I'm also not going to do before and afters because it's been a while and I don't remember, and I don't want to. So this is on 28 count Lugana. It's called Monster Mash by Picture This Plus. This is what the whole piece is looking like so far. I love it on this fabric. I love this fabric for this piece. So I think I pretty much did the top row there. I had some of the eyes to do with the spiders. The ghost is really cute. And I made a start in that corner with the witch's hat and the eyelets. I am beading this one as I go along. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And like I said, I just love it. So I would like to see this one finish next year. I don't know if that's a reality. I will go into that more with my plans, but I would like to finish up a chatelaine. Especially in light of Martina's passing, and I'm not going to go into that because everybody has already said everything that needs to be said. It's an unfortunate loss for the community, and a brilliant designer is unfortunately no longer with us. So I would like to finish this one as a tribute to her. I know she would probably hate the fabric, but I love it, so it is what it is. So, like I say, I don't know if that's a reality, because even though it doesn't look like a lot, there's a lot of stitching in there. Those eyes take forever. So, but even if I can make some significant progress on it, that's going to be my plan. So, the next thing that I worked on is what I finished. Again, I'm not going to show you that one until we get to the finishes. I did, however, get a page finished on one of my Heaven and Earth designs, and it is living in this bag. Super cute, with boxes on the inside. And this is Little Red Riding Hood by Annie Rodrigue. Annie. This is what she will look like in another 20 years when she's finished. This is actually one of the haids that I have the most completed on. So this is what I have done. This one was actually the first large haid that I started, and I started her in the middle because that's where I was used to starting things, and then I've kind of branched out. So I finished page number 1, which should not have taken as long as it did, but some of us are confetti junkies and get bored with only working with a couple colors. There's actually not a lot of colors in this piece. I think there's only like, well, there's my floss box. So 30, 40 colors maybe, compared to Max Colors, which have like a million. So I finished page 1. I think the next page I'm going to do is going to be this one down here, and then I'm going to work up and try and get the top section completed first, and then I'm going to focus on the bottom. So that is this one. So happy to get a page finished on that. The next thing that I did, for the reason, is I'll show you one of my new starts. Just so you know, my one monster is awake. He's by my feet. This could turn into a repeat of the last video that I did, where I got incredibly frustrated and the rest of you got cat butt. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't be quite as bad as that. But the next one that I started is living in this bag. It's pretty butterflies. Kim, you'll appreciate this. Kim, my Stitch from Stash partner, I sent her a couple bags when I was first starting them, and I asked for her input, and she suggested adding a pocket to the inside. So Kim, look at what happened. My mom figured it out. This really wasn't that hard. I couldn't have figured it out, but she had no problems. So there's a zipper in this one, so keep your eyes out. We'll see what happens. I decided to start Florentina. So I had fabric that Kim had originally given me back at the start of the year that I wanted to use for this, and it was too small, and I kind of sent her a message saying, oh, I was really disappointed. I was looking forward to stitching this on this fabric, blah, 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 blah. And she responded with a goodie bag for me. I'll show you the rest of it later, but this piece is appropriate. She ended up sending me a gorgeous piece of fabric. Ooh. Can you see that? Look at those colors. Look at that. she sent me, which way does this go? This beautiful piece of fabric that she hand dyed herself. The girl's got talent. So it is the perfect size for her. Perfect size. So I am stitching her on this hand-dyed piece of fabric by Kim. And this is how much I have completed so far. It's really not a lot, but she is going to be gorgeous on this. I'm so excited. I'm over the moon. Thank you so much, Kim. You saved my project. And then I have this little witch needle minder from Dankai on Etsy. I will put a link to her Etsy page down below. I got a couple other needle minders from her as well too, so those will come up later as well. But so I did start on this one. I haven't made a lot of progress. This was going to be my December piece because my stitching corner gets mucked up when we set up the Christmas tree. So I thought this might be something a little bigger I could work on. I haven't worked on it. I haven't worked on it at all. But that is that one. Love her. I actually had bought in the pattern specifically to stitch it on the other fabric. And then when I got the pattern, realized it wasn't going to fit. So, like I say, Kim, you saved my day. Now what? There's New Year, New Start that I will show. You know what? I'll just show it now. The other thing that I did recently work on is Coffee Quaker, which I started. And it's theoretically living in this bag for right now. How cute is that fabric? So sparkly. And then polka dots on the inside. So cute. So this is Coffee Quaker, which you've all seen. Most of you have finished. I am winging the colors. I'm changing everything myself. I don't have a whole lot done, but I did end up getting this little motif done and then putting a start into that one. I'm stitching this on, what am I stitching this on? I think this is Ren, maybe, by Picture This Plus. And then I got my Cruella de Vil needle minder. So, like I say, I haven't done a whole lot on this one, but I was in the mood to kind of work on something simple that didn't require a whole lot of concentration, a whole lot of lighting, because my lighting in this room, it looks great on camera, not so good for stitching, especially late at night. So, so that one got a little bit of love. My New Year, New Start. So I had to finish yesterday. I wanted to get that one done so bad, and as soon as I was done that, I started my new start because I couldn't wait. I originally started this in October. I had ordered it. I was so excited. I did all the calculations. I did the yarn tree cross stitch calculator, started stitching, and I got a motif done, and then I'm like, oh, I need to move my Q snap, and I took it off the Q snap, and I was like an inch, 3 inches, 4 inches maybe away from the bottom of it, and realized something went horribly, horribly wrong. So I went back to the computer, looked at what I had punched in for the yarn tree cross stitch calculator. I had put in stitching at 1/1, not 2/2. Makes a big difference. So I had specifically cut the fabric and in half, and I was done. And I absolutely loved the way that it was looking. I loved the way it was turning out. I didn't have that color fabric again, so I had to reorder it. Had to. So it finally came in about end of November, beginning of December. It came in, and I really wanted to start it again right away, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to finish this other thing first, and then I'm going to make that my new year, new start. So as soon as I finished my thing yesterday, I made a little bit of an earlier start than I probably should have. Not should have. I can do what I want. Nobody's the boss of me, as Trisha would say. So this is Quaker Gone Spooky by Michelle Inc. So I had started in the middle. I had stitched the whole owl and that whole tombstone and realized I was in trouble because the rest of that wouldn't have fit into like 4 inches. The colors on this one are so cool. I love them. It calls for silken color threads. They are gorgeous. So there is a Mississippi mud. So pretty. There is, what is this one? Prairie Winter. It's hard to see the variegation in that one, but it's there. This one is Fading Ink. So pretty. These colors are amazing. They're amazing. I love them. And then Woods and Gold. How gorgeous are those? I'm in love with this piece. Love it. So, I started and I got basically back to where I was, but I couldn't stop there because it was my new year, new start, and I had to go a little bit further than what I originally had to rip out. So I got the first motif done, and then this little bit. This is all a little extra. It was like an extra 20 stitches, but I had to do just a little bit more than what I originally ripped out. This is on, what did I say this was? This is on, what color did I use? Rock Quarry by Silk Weavers. And I love it. The tombstone's a little hard to see, but I think once it's all done, I think it'll be okay. The other one that I did seemed to be a little bit more noticeable, but whatever. I ordered this fabric specifically for it. And I probably could have cut off 10 inches and used it for something else, but I wasn't going to risk cutting the fabric again. So I figured if there's extra, oh well, because I needed to start this. So that is my new year, new start. And that one I decided to put in breast cancer bag, pink lining. Yeah. So that was my new year, new start. I guess now we should maybe, oh, I guess I should show you my finishes. Let's do that first, because that'll be fun. So I actually had 10 finishes this year. 10. That's pretty good for me. 4 of them are really small, and the rest are actually a pretty decent size. I'm happy with that. So the first one I will show you is my little Nutley Owl. He was cute. He did not take very long to finish at all. He was like a quick weekend stitch. And I'm really happy with him. He's cute. The next thing that I finished was 3 Mill Hill ornaments. So I did the pine cone which I haven't put a string on to hang on the tree yet, but I did that one. I did the candy apple. This one's cute. This one was like a day. I stitched that in like a couple hours. I came home from work one night and whipped it up. Easy. And then I did this one in December because I just really needed something simple to work on. And this is one of the snowflake ornaments. I don't remember exactly which one this one was. But again, super quick finish. And I'm happy with them. I bought them. They're in my stash. I might as well stitch them, right? So those are my 4 small finishes. The next one was my New Year, New Start from last year. And you'll have to excuse, these are all really wrinkly because they live in my box of shame. That's also one of my goals this year. Some of these need to be out and exposed. McKenna, stop yelling at me. I can hear you yelling at me from here. Get those finishes up on the wall. I know. I'm going to work on it. So this is Jenny Bean Sampler. I love this chart. And I've seen a couple people stitching this. I think Cozy Egg is stitching this, and somebody else, I think. I love this chart. This was a complete joy to stitch. I got obsessed over this. It didn't take very long, about the first 2 months, but I was working on other things as well too, so. That little fish is so cute, and it's just awesome. I love this one. The colors are just, I love it. This is one that needs to get up on my wall. So that was one of my first finishes, big finishes for last year. And then I finished, this was my next one. This is Bumblebee Lace Sampler by Victoria Sampler. So I'm really super happy with the way this one turned out. You guys have seen these already. You've seen them. But love the way that this one turned out. I have 2 others in my stash that one of these days I will stitch. I don't have plans to stitch them this year, but they will get done. So that is those 6 finishes. And then I did this one. This is a Dr. Seuss quote. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? This was an Etsy pattern. I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. I'm bad. But I will put a link down below. This is just stitched on a one-of-a-kind solo die that I had in my stash. This one I want to make into a pillow. Love it. It's cute. It's done. Yay. So that is finish number 7. This is the other piece that I was working on during the month of October. I really wanted to get this one done. This one and the butterfly lace I had started a couple years ago at a stitch camp, and I was trying to get I started 4 projects there, and I wanted to get all 4 done this year. I ended up getting 2 done. One was done the year before, so I have 1 left from that weekend that I need to finish up, and that's in the goals for next year. But this is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I stitched this on a piece of khaki MCG textiles, just that cheap Michaels flot fabric. I used all the called for threads. And I'm super happy with the way that this turned out. That border took forever. And I did a lot of frogging on this project. It seemed like every time I picked it up, I had to frog something. It kind of drove me a little mental, but I'm really happy with it. I know a lot of people have complained about the MCG textile fabric. I knew that going into stitching this project, and I figured at least if it wasn't a true even weave for something like this, it wasn't going to matter. So that's why I kept using it. I'm happy with it. I think the color's good for the project, so for me it worked out. Sorry about that. The next thing that I did was I finished up a Haid. It's a small Haid, but it's a finish. This was the freebie stitch along from 2015, I think it was. This was on the bulletin board. This is Quick Stitch Christmas Presents, and it is artwork by Miles Pinkley. I'm super happy that this is done. I did this on a 32 count, 36 count, even weave, 1/1. And I'm so happy that this is done. This was only a full page and 3 partial pages, but the confetti was a little intense at times. I know I said I love confetti, but this one kind of pushed my patience, but I'm so glad it's done. It was done in time for Christmas. It never got exposed during Christmas, but there it is. But hopefully next year I haven't decided what I want to do with it. I might turn it into a wall hanging. I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars framing it for something that's only going to be out for a month. So I was thinking either a pillow or possibly, like I say, a wall hanging. Since I know how to sew now, kind of, somewhat, partially, maybe I can do something fancy with that. So that is finish number 9, and then the next thing that I finished was also a new start. And this is Peace in My Heart Sal by Bees Needleworks. Abby Gurdin. I think I'm saying that right. She's the designer. I stitched this from Things from My Stash. I used Karen Water Lilies and maybe a Gloriana, I think. Fabric is Queen Anne's lace. It was just a piece that I had kicking around, and all the beads are Mill Hill beads that, again, I had in my stash. So this is the finished piece, and I finished it last night, but it's really pretty. Can see that bling. If you haven't ever heard of Bees Needleworks, I highly recommend you check out her designs. She is very encouraging of trying to pick your own colors and very supportive of, you know, kind of making your project your own. So I'm not very used to it yet. I still struggle with it sometimes. Ashley Tracy P, I ended up messaging her and throwing floss all over my kitchen table, and she kind of helped me narrow down my selection. So thank you, Tracy. It turned out fantastic. She does specialty stitches. They're in small bands. You can get this chart now. It's up for sale on her website. I think I only paid like $3 for it. So it's really reasonably priced. I think it's a little bit more expensive now that the whole thing is being released, but really happy with it. Like I say, she does specialty stitches. Her diagrams are fantastic. So if you want to make that a New Year's resolution and get out of your comfort zone, I recommend it. So that was my 10th finish for the year. Yay me. I did good. I'm happy with that. I made some significant progress. I made significant amount of progress on some of my other pieces as well too. So those are all done. Hopefully I will get some of them FFO'd, because don't we all need to do a little bit more of that? Except for you, McKenna. You got that down pat, so. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to start with plans for next year. I'm in the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. I'm going to be trying my best to do their 1,200 stitches a month. They have sales that are going on, and I've pretty much figured out how to fit 2 of my heids into all of those stitch alongs. I really want to make some progress on the 2 that I have the most progress on. The first one being Red Riding Hood, which you've seen. Second one being Grove, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I figured out pretty much how to make both of those projects fit into their stitch alongs very loosely, and had to use a crowbar to get some of them to fit, but that's my goal. I want to focus on those 2. If I get bored with either of those 2 large pieces, I want to swap out for my chatelaine. Everything else is going to be stitched on a Q-snap. I'm going to have some of them loaded and ready to go. I have Coffee Quaker ready to go. I'm going to have the Spooky Quaker ready to go. I have Pandora's Box loaded on a Q-snap ready to go. And I'm going to work on those 3 until one of them is done, and then I'm going to swap out for something else. Just as quick projects that don't, if you get home from work and you're really tired and you can't focus on Heaven and Earth, or you can't focus on, you know what I mean. Something that doesn't require lights and magnifiers, and you can just pull out, you can put a couple stitches in, and it looks like you actually accomplished something. I find that's my biggest struggle with the full coverage, is that you work on them for hours and hours and hours, and it doesn't look like sometimes that you got anything done. Which I find myself getting frustrated with a little bit more lately. So that's what I'm going to do. I think the first month is going to be Grove. She's already ready to go on my scroll bars. So I will show you where she is starting the year. So that is what she's looking like. I thought I was going to work on her in the month of December. This is what she will look like when she's completed. So I have a fair amount done on her. I mean, she's got quite a bit done. So I would like to say I could get 3 pages done on her. I would like to say I can get 3 pages done on Red Riding Hood. Is that a real goal? I don't know, but I'm going to try. I'm gonna try and do the 1,200 stitches at least on each of these 2 projects every month. So that is Grove. Where's my list? Where's my list? I wrote things down the other day. So yeah, the first one is going to be Grove. I'd like to get 3 pages done on Red Riding Hood. I'd like to finish my Coffee Quaker and the Spooky Quaker. That fantasy style that I started, we'll see if I get some of the other ones done. That will be one that will definitely make it back onto the Q-snaps. But I'm not going to push for it right now. I'm going to finish up some of the other ones first, and then, like I say, as projects get finished, new ones can go back on. I'm not someone that has a whole lot of starts. I do have a couple planned for this year, but, well, I shouldn't say that. Or a couple big projects. So let's talk about the other project that I want to finish, or at least get some work on, is in this bag. How cute is that? How cute is that? So cute. And blue liner. This is the 4th project that I started at my stitch camp. The only one of the 4 that is not completed yet. And this is Plum Street Samplers Gathering Honey. I've shown you this one before. I did not work on this at all this year. I am stitching this on a ridiculously small piece of fabric. Again, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I think this one is Highland, maybe, by Picture This Plus. It's a 32 or 36 count. I'm stitching it 1/1. So this one I would like to get finished this year as well too. Because it's so small, I do like to have this one actually on my scroll rods. It doesn't work very well for me to work on it on my Q-snaps, but that is one that I would like to get finished, and then, like I say, I can say that I finished all 4 of those projects. So when I'm at my next camp, I can start 4 more, maybe. So, so that's what I want to stitch that I have going already. The next thing that I want to do is I have a few projects that I want to start. Now, I told you about this little guy. He stitched up in a weekend. I have a few more of them. And they're not, they come with everything, right? So it's not like it's a $5 pattern. Like, for how big they are, they're... Here in Canada, I've spent up to $20 for one of them. So I have 5 of them. That's $100 worth in patterns. That could be stitched up in like literally a week. I could stitch all of them. And then at least it's not money wasted. It's stash that's being used, and thus the stitch from stash. So I have 5 of them. I want to start one every 2nd month, and I want to finish it. So the first one's going to be Nut Liao's brother, Oak Liao. So I'm going to stitch that. I don't know which order I'm going to do them in. I don't really care. I just want them all done. I have Little Princess Snow. I have Little Hedgie. He's super cute. I have Witchy Sister Mouse. The little mice are really cute. This is Miss Witchy Mouse. And she goes with the Witchy Sister Mouse. So, like I say, that right there, pretty much almost $100. I want them done. But I only have 5 of those. 5. There are 12 months in the year. If I'm doing one every 2 months, there's an extra project that I need that I just need to find something to stitch that will be like a weekend that will be done. So I pulled this guy out, and this is the Buzz. It's a little Mill Hill kit. The ornaments do not take very long again to stitch. So I'm going to make this my 6th project. Maybe I'll do this one in the summer. We'll see. So those are 6 projects that I plan on stitching and finishing this year. So that should hopefully be 6 finishes. If I finish the Gathering Honey, that'll be 7. Hopefully I'll finish Pandora's Box. I also have Minerva, Coffee Quaker, like I say, all those other ones. Hopefully this will be a good year for finishes for me, as well as making some huge progress on, like I say, some of my full coverage pieces. That's the goal. There are a couple other projects that I do plan on attending the stitch camps again this year. I only went to one last year, and I'm doing both this year. So I did a new start every day the last time I was, not last time, but the time before I was there. No, actually I did 4 new starts last time I was there too. That was fun. I enjoy that tradition. So I have a couple larger pieces that I plan on starting as well through the year. Hopefully, like I say, at the stitch camp. So the first one is going to be Drawn Thread, the Menagerie. I love this piece. I love it. It calls for NPI silks and 1 dinky dye. I only bought the 1 dinky dye, which originally I had put with my Coffee Quaker, and then went, I know I bought that thread, where did I put it? And then when I pulled out Coffee Quaker, I actually found it. Yay. NPI silks are not variegated. I'm not going to spend the money on them. As beautiful as they would be to stitch with, I'm just going to do DMC. So I've already written down all the colors, and I'm going to do the variegated. This one is called Seagrass. Seagrass, yes. But I've had this one in my stash for quite a while. I really want to stitch it. So that's going to be hopefully one start this year. This was one that I contemplated making my New Year New Start, because I love it. Again, it's a more expensive project pattern, especially at RLNS. This was a $43 pattern. Charmin, which I am going to hopefully stitch this year. I have all the threads pulled already. I have a piece of Murky stuffed in there to stitch him on. There are a couple things I'd have to get are beads and embellishment, not embellishment. They call for a Tonkin thread. The last one of these that I did, the new pattern, I just winged it, and I'm really happy with the result because it's not easily found for me. So I'll probably do the same thing. I'll just look at what type of color it's supposed to be and just create my own. But I really want to stitch him. I love him. I love him. He's so cute. He looks like my Sawyer. So I plan on starting that one. The next one that I want to stitch is Hungarian Rhapsody. This isn't a cross stitch. This is more of a embroidery. This was gifted to me by my lovely Stitch from Stash friend Kim. It comes with all the threads, the fabric, it comes with needles. This is out of my comfort zone, so I'm looking forward to doing it, even though I'm terrified to do it. But I really want to attempt this one, so hopefully that will be a start this year. And the next one is going to be a Sampler Seasons by Northern Expressions Needleworks. And this one I've had in my stash for a while. This one was another project that pretty much killed my Stitch from Stash budget. All of those are Veld Honey threads. They're like $10 each. They're highly variegated, and I really wanted the variegation with this, so I didn't want to cheap out and do DMC. I decided I was going to splurge on this one, so I'm still waiting for some of the colors to come in. Hopefully they will. A lot of them have been discontinued, so I've had to kind of look for them in small doses, so I'm hoping that I sent an order to Needle in a Haystack, and they basically said, we've been waiting so long, we're just discontinuing them. So hopefully this other website that I've ordered them from here in Ontario, not here in Ontario, in Ontario, will be able to get me the rest of them that I needed. There's one that was retired and they said that they had one skein of it, and so I begged them to send it to me. And they're going to do that, so hopefully they can figure out the rest of them too for me. So those are my new starts that I have planned. So there's like 10 of them. That's doable, right? I'm not a big start person. I know lots of people get really excited for putting the first couple stitches in something. I get more excited when I get to the end of the project, or when I can actually start seeing what the project's going to be. Stuff like this, once I start it, I have to kind of finish it, because to just sit there as a whip for months, I have a hard time doing that. So hopefully I will get some good finishes this year. Like I said, I want to get some significant progress on some of my full coverage pieces. If I can focus on 2 of them, get those ones done, then I can focus on the next 2 that I have started with regards to full coverage. So that's going to be my, I guess, my plan going forward. So we'll see what happens. So now I will go towards haul. So if you're not a haul person, I totally understand. I might have to start cutting myself off on videos when it comes to the haul to keep myself in my Stitch from Stash budget. With regards to that, I plan on actually physically putting my money into a jar. So I have a $25 limit. So $25 into a jar every month. If I finish something, I'm going to take, like those little mice and whatnot else, I think you only get like $5 for them. I'm going to take $5 and I'm going to put that in that jar too. So hopefully that will keep me more accountable. I have one thing on my list that I've thought for a while that I want to buy. I haven't bought it yet. It's a piece of hand-dyed fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm going to use it on the Polar Mandala by Chatelaine. I am allowing myself to get that with my Stitch from Stash budget if I finish one of my Chatelaines. Guaranteed it won't be the butterfly lace this year. There's way too much work to do on that one, on top of all my other plans that I want to do. But I think Halloween Kitty might have potential. We'll see. So if I finish that one, I will allow myself to get and order that one piece of fabric so I can start another chatelaine. My goal was always to have one large and one small on the go. So the Halloween Kitty I would consider a small chatelaine. The butterfly lace I would consider a large one. So the Polar Mandala is also a large one, so just because I get the fabric for it doesn't mean I'm going to start it. But I will allow myself to buy the fabric for it, if that makes sense. Trying you guys. So I will show you now what I have for haul. Some of it's here, most of this is actually a gift, I'm not going to lie. The little bits of haul that I've had, I've shown you already. So I had the new piece of fabric for Spooky Quaker. I had the Spooky Quaker project, pattern with all the floss. So that was a pretty big purchase. The Florentina pattern I ended up getting in the same order along with the bead pack because I didn't have that pattern. So a lot of it you've kind of seen already. Come on, Sawyer. Doesn't he look like the shaman? Shaman Kitty? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stitch that for him. Okay, so I guess I will show you. First of all, when I realized I screwed up my fabric for, where did it go? For the Spooky Quaker, I wanted to re-buy it. And I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to make sure I have enough room to stitch this. So instead of getting 32 count, what is it? 32 count, not Edinburgh. What's a 32 count linen? You know what I'm talking about. I was going to be smart and I was going to get 36 count Edinburgh in the same color. You can see it right there. Edinburgh linen, 36 count. Do you see that difference? I don't know if you can see. This is so much lighter. It's so light. This is the same color, and it did not dye the same way. Let's see if I can unfold this for you. It's all wrinkly, but do you see how much darker this is compared to that? There you go. Now you can kind of see it. So I didn't want the lighter. I wanted the darker. It looked better as far as I was concerned. So it's still a beautiful piece of fabric. I love it. I know I will find something to stitch on it. I know I will. But it just wasn't what I wanted for this project. So I ordered it, and of course I didn't just order the one piece of fabric. I ordered another piece of fabric, which, come to think of it, I don't think I pulled out. Nope, I didn't pull that one out. That'll have to wait for next time. So I had to reorder it in the 32 count so I could get the right shade. So of course when I ordered it in 32 count, I couldn't just order a single piece. So I ended up getting a couple of the Oops ones, the solo dyes. So the first one that I got is a Wexford linen, so 25 count. It's kind of a pinky, beigey. It's really pretty. It's a really gorgeous piece of fabric. So I ended up getting that one because the Oops ones are a little bit, they're really well priced. So this was another one. So this is a 32 count Wexford linen. And again, very pretty. Oh, and here comes the cat butt. Come on. Come on. This would actually look really pretty with a mermaid on it, I'm thinking. Maybe Aphrodite? Maybe, we'll see. I have that pattern and all the beads and floss and everything else for that one too, so I got this one. This is a 32 count Wexford linen as well too. My cat's going in the box because that's what they do. And this is a really pretty green. It's not showing up true to life. It's much more, what's the right word? Like a, not a forest green. Oh, Sawyer. Oh, come on. Come on, get down. It's a lighter green than what it's showing up. That's actually a little bit better, but very pretty. Then I got a 26 by 35 piece count of 32 count Murky because I do love this fabric. And there are plenty of designs. I did actually think about doing Spooky Quaker on this one. And I had a piece, it was big enough, it would have worked, but I had my heart set on that rock quarry. Crazy, I know, right? So I ordered those. I ordered Tree of Hope by Mirabilia. I love this one. I don't know when I will start it. All I ordered was the pattern. I didn't order the threads. I didn't order the beads. I will get those when the time comes. But I love this one. That Karen water lily that's in there, I don't know which one it is Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. So I have that one. And then I ordered a couple needle minders. So the one was on Florentina. I got this really pretty Snow White. I got a Jasmine Beckett Griffith Tea Fairy one, which I have already given away to a friend of mine. And then I gave one to Kim, and we were going to start a stitch along in November. It was going to be a Haid, because I need another Haid on the go, apparently. And she was going to start Ronaldo, the steampunk cat. I don't remember exactly what it's called. So it literally had a picture of him on the needle minder. So I sent her that because it was fitting for her new start, which, like I say, just we didn't do. Maybe this year. Kim, we should try and plan that. Everything's ready to go. I'm waiting. And then she sent me this little cute little owl. So she sent me those. I like the way that she does the backs. They got like really nice kind of handles that you can grab onto. So those are the needle minders that I got. And then Kim, she's, like I say, she sent me all that that beautiful piece of fabric. And then she sent me like a whole box of goodies. She spoiled me so bad. So I got chocolate. I got some chewy candies. Those are all gone. So those were tasty. Thank you. She gave me a pen and a snowflake ornament. Not a snowflake ornament, a Christmas ornament. It's a cute little fox that's on my tree right now. I forgot to grab him. The pen is in my living kitchen because I was using it this morning. So I can't show you those. But this is what I do have in front of me that she sent me. So she sent me the fabric, and then she sent me this amazing amount, I don't even know what to call this, of DMC 310. I guess this is like half a cone, maybe? I don't know. I will never have to buy a DMC 310 again. And I have another project, another Haid that calls for like 60-some skeins. I'm pretty sure this will do it. So thank you very much. And she wound it so nicely. Like, I'm just going to keep it like this because it's just too perfect. And I need one of these winders. I think it's like a yarn. You make your balls for yarn. I need one of those. So she sent me that. She sent me Old MacDonald's Farm by Victoria Sampler. She stitched this as a birth announcement or birth record. So she sent me the pattern. She sent me, where is it here? All of her leftover threads from the thread pack that she got, so that should hopefully get me through. I love this sampler, it's so cute. I love Victoria samplers. If you haven't stitched one, again, go out of your comfort zone this year. Try one. So she sent me that. She sent me Whispered by the Wind by, oh, this is Beneath the Harvest Moon by Whispered by the Wind. Apparently her hubby didn't like it, so that worked out as a good gain for myself. So I plan on stitching this, maybe not this year, well, probably not this year, but this one is going to get stitched, definitely. I have perfect fabric to go with it. This would actually look really good on Haunted, probably. I know a lot of people have complained about it because they've changed their dyeing process, but I think it would still work. And then she sent me a whole bunch of Fire Wing designs, and I've seen these stitched up, and they are gorgeous. And my nose is gonna sneeze. So Fire Wing designs, this is Paladin. This is Samurai. This This is Messenger. I think this one's my favorite. I love that one. And Warrior. And I've seen these stitched up in variegated thread. They look amazing on a hand-dyed fabric, or on a solid fabric with hand-dyed. What was it? They look amazing. I need to stitch them. I need to stitch all the things. I need to stitch all the things. So that's all I have for you guys. This is going to be like a almost hour-long video. Thank you again to all my subscribers. Thank you for waiting for me patiently to come back and get my stuff in order, I guess. I do plan on trying to be more consistent next year. And so many plans. Stitch all the things. I wish everybody all the best in 2018. Health and happiness and stitching for everybody and their families and their pets and everything. And thank you guys for sticking with me, and I will hopefully be seeing a lot more of you in the new year. Thanks. Goodbye, guys.